This is the 7th video presentation for the Case Animal course. As you view this video, make notes of important information. Livestock breeding systems, lesson 6.2, generating generations. You just completed lesson 6.1, where do calves come from? Where you observed and participated in dissections of reproductive tracts to understand the function of male and female reproductive organs. Producers breed animals using a variety of methods to meet their goals. By choosing an appropriate breeding system, producers can determine the profitability of a livestock enterprise. Animal producers commonly use two types of mating systems. Those whose goal is the production of purebred breeding stock use straight breeding, which is when an animal of the same breed are mated and the genetic traits of that breed persist. Crossbreeding involves mating animals of different breeds. The offspring tend to perform well due to what is called hybrid vigor. One common crossbred in the cattle industry is the Hereford-Angus cross, which produces commercially popular black baldy cattle. Purebred producers employ straight breeding to maintain the qualities and characteristics of the ancestors. Purebred animals are eligible for registration. Crossbreeding is used to increase the performance of offspring. The qualities of two or more breeds are combined, generating animals with hybrid vigor. Offspring are above the average of the parents. While the first generation of crossbred animals tend to be very high performing, subsequent crossings of crossbred animals may not exhibit the increased performance. This system is used mainly in the production of market animals. The four basic livestock breeding methods that will be discussed are natural breeding and other reproductive technologies. Artificial insemination, embryo transfer, and cloning are more modern breeding methods. Natural breeding occurs in a pasture setting or under supervision, which is referred to as hand breeding. Pasture breeding occurs naturally and is the easiest method of breeding for the producer. Low conception rate is a disadvantage of pasture breeding. Hand breeding occurs when males are brought to females in heat and allowed to mount. Hand breeding has higher conception rates than pasture breeding, but is an intensive and potentially dangerous process. The first reproductive technology we will discuss is artificial insemination, or AI. The advantages and disadvantages of AI vary among species. The use of artificial insemination is very widespread in dairy cattle and also common in beef cattle, swine, and horses. Embryo transfer, or ET, is used primarily in cattle and horses, but research has been done in most domestic species. The main disadvantage is the expense incurred. The process of embryo transfer begins with the superovulation of a genetically superior female. Artificial insemination is completed by using the sperm of a superior male. Embryos are flushed from the uterus of a donor and implanted in the uterus of a recipient. The third reproductive technology studied is cloning. Dolly the sheep was the first successful vertebrate cloned in the 1990s. The cloning process is very costly, making it economically unfeasible for most livestock producers. However, there is great potential for cloning of livestock for research in disease treatment testing, organ production for organ transplant, pharmaceutical production, or cloning endangered species to prevent extinction. As a review, mark or highlight 3 key points in your notes that are important to remember from this presentation. List 2 ideas or concepts that relate to the previous knowledge. List any questions you have about this topic. Discuss these questions with your instructor. Keep any notes you have from this presentation organized and available for use throughout the course. Through Activity 6.2.1 is Nature Best, you will distinguish between the different livestock breeding systems. This will help you understand the 4 main breeding methods commonly used by producers when breeding livestock and the advantages and disadvantages of each. Your instructor will share specific instructions for Activity 6.2.1 is Nature Best.